Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we will be looking at price elasticity of supply, PES. Let's get started. By definition, price elasticity of supply measures how responsive the quantity supplied of a product is to a change in its price. In simple words, if the price changes, how much will companies change how much they produce? The formula for PES is percentage change in quantity supplied divided by a percentage change in its price. Let's do a quick numerical example. Suppose the price of a product rises from £10 to £12 each. That's a 20% increase in the price. And quantity supplied rises from 100 units to 130 units. That's a 30% increase in quantity supplied. So PES is positive 30% divided by positive 20%. That's 1.5. Because PES is greater than 1, the supply is considered price elastic, as it indicates that the percentage change in quantity supplied exceeds the percentage change in price. Producers respond very strongly when prices rise. PES figures are usually greater than 1 because of the law of supply, which indicates that there is a positive relationship between the price of a good and the quantity supplied of the good. Now, let's walk through all 5 key PES values and associated diagrams. First, price elastic supply with PES greater than 1. On the diagram, the supply curve is relatively flat. This means a small change in price will lead to a larger change in quantity supplied. A real-life example would be mass-produced manufactured goods, such as phone cases or T-shirts. These can be produced relatively quickly with existing machinery, so supply is more responsive. Next, perfectly price-elastic supply with PES equal to infinity. In the diagram, the supply curve is horizontal. This means suppliers are only willing to supply any quantity at a particular price. A strong real-world example is digital goods, such as ebooks or software downloads. Once the product is created, supplying 1 copy or 1 million copies costs almost nothing, so the supply curve is essentially flat. Now, unitary price elastic supply with PES equal to 1. In the diagram, the supply curve is a straight line passing through the origin. Here, the percentage change in quantity supplied is exactly the same as the percentage change in price. One example is a flexible assembly factory. For instance, some clothing factories can increase output in direct proportions to price increases by hiring temporary workers or opening extra production lines. Another example is freelancer labor on online platforms. If the wage rate rises by 10% and the total hours supplied also rise by roughly 10%, then the supply is approximately unitary price elastic. Next, price inelastic supply with PES smaller than 1. In the diagram, the supply curve is relatively steep. This means price changes only have a very small impact on quantity supplied. A classical real-world example is agricultural products in the short run. Even if the price of wheat doubles today, farmers cannot instantly grow more wheat this season. The short-run quantity supplied barely changes. Another example is housing supply in cities. Even when house prices rise sharply, new homes cannot be built immediately due to long construction times and planning restrictions. So inelastic supply typically occurs when production cannot be increased quickly. Finally, perfectly price inelastic supply with PES equal to 0. In the diagram, the supply curve is vertical. The quantity supplied doesn't change at all, even if the price skyrockets. A very clear real-life example is seats for a specific concert on a specific date. If a stadium has 50,000 seats, the quantity available cannot be increased no matter how high the ticket prices becomes. And of course, unique artworks, such as one-of-a-kind painting by an artist, also have perfectly priced inelastic supply. To summarize, PES tells us how responsive suppliers are to changes in the price of their products. And in the